Friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACC. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nacc.org.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 45, then Thursday, cloudy with a high of 64. Great news, Zero Res's Labor Day sale has been extended. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off an air duct cleaning. It's been extended, but it won't last forever. Book now at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we asked our friend, State Representative Heather Keeler, to drop us a note here and have us come and give us a little update of what's been going on with her. And we're really, really pleased to have Representative Keeler be able to drop us off a really nice little update. So why don't we right away take care of that, and then later on we're going to have Nancy Bolio on. We haven't had Nancy on in a long time. And also we're going to have Dr. Stately, Native American Community Clinic, and then Wendy dropping in. So without any further ado, why don't we take a quick listen to our friend, State Representative Heather Keeler.
Well, a lot of the littles are heading back to school. A lot of the college kids have been back. And so want to just start by saying I hope everybody starts off the school year in a healthy, good way. We've had a lot of tragedy that has hit in a lot of communities in a lot of ways. And the end of the day, we just really need to come together, particularly for our next generation, to make sure that we do what's right to keep them safe, particularly in our schools. And so I know that's heavy on a lot of people's hearts, and just want to name that it can be hard as parents. I have a young one that I'm sending off to school, and an older one that's off at college, but just want to make sure that we lean into each other as community to heal while we move through these times. So that's fall is around the corner. I was heading up this weekend to the Panema Powwow, which was beautiful. If you haven't been up there, you should head up there. This time of year, it's just gorgeous because the leaves are just starting to change colors. Me and my son were talking in the car a bit about what that means, and the bigger picture of change. Coming out of the summer months and heading into the fall, weather starts to change, routines start to change. People's emotions and feelings start to shift with days, and sunlight kind of shifting as well. And so just want to bring highlight to the fact that September is Suicide Prevention Month. And this is one of those topics that's just really hard to talk about. I have shared my story, bits and pieces of it along the way, but I really believe that healing out loud is how we save others. And, 1 in 20 U.S. adults have seriously considered thoughts of suicide. And so that means that's a lot of us. And I want to also acknowledge this is a hard conversation. This is something that we've all experienced in some capacity. And so Awareness Month and Prevention Month is really, really important because we can't be afraid to talk about the really hard things because the people who need us most need us to step up and talk about the hard things. And so we know the federal government has made a lot of shifts. One of the shifts that, for me personally, that I advocate a lot for is the use of 988, which is the suicide prevention hotline. In the past, there's been one option that's specific for LGBTQ population. We know that this population alone has higher thoughts and attempts of suicide. And so this is something that's really unique and really needed. And so when the federal government eliminates resources like this, again, it really lands on us as neighbors, as community members, as allies, and as individuals who love our relatives, all of our relatives. It's really our job to step up and lean into spaces to provide support. There's also something that's really moving that my older son has brought to my attention in the last couple of years, just by watching the things he talks about, is really addressing suicide prevention when it comes to our college athletes, particularly our boys and our young men. I think there's a stigma in the world that our young men, especially athletes, I've seen it in my own house with my son and his friends and my brothers growing up, is this mind frame just to stay strong through things. And, that's not really the healthiest way to navigate. That's not actually the tools that I think we want our young men and our next generation to lean into. And so there are a lot of campaigns around college sports and being more mindful about having those conversations in those places. So if you or anybody sit in those spaces of college sports, this is a conversation that we need to have. We need to have awareness. We need to have conversations with teammates to be able to really see signs and support each other and be okay with having those tough conversations. Also leaning into, we talked about how important it was with some of the work that I'm doing around birth justice and making sure that we lean into supporting new parents, birthing parents, because there's a lot of emotions that come along with that. And so I just want to put that out there, and I want to give space that this is a very, very hard conversation that has hit many of us in many emotional ways. But again, healing out loud to provide supports for those who maybe need it most is really the goal and the most important thing. And so, check on people, This is a tough time of year starting to come around. Holidays aren't that far off. And so just lean in to each other, lead with love, and be there for your community. Also, it's National Recovery Month. I know, Robert, you and I have talked a lot about our sobriety and how important that is. And I just want to give a really big shout out to those of you who are, really walking through that journey of recovery. It can be very, very, very hard. We know that. We acknowledge that. We're really proud of you for all the work that all of you have done in the recovery community and bringing awareness and breaking down the walls of stigma to make sure, again, it's something that we can really talk about and heal together as a community. Because if you think about it, those two ideas really are intertwined together. And, with our Indigenous population particularly, these things really impact a lot of our generations. And so I'm just making sure that we're aware of those opportunities to lean in for awareness. There's a lot of walks, I know, and a lot of candlelight vigils and things that are happening throughout the month. So be there for family members that are participating in those. Lastly, kind of on a September personal note, getting out of the summer and getting back into the swing of the school year, we're always trying to find ways to really engage with our community, border to border in Minnesota, as a state representative. And so just be out having community conversations in the fall. And so if there's particular topics that, your community wants to talk about or share solution-focused ideas, that's what we'll be doing in the next couple months. I know I'll be doing a lot of that in my community out here in Moorhead, but also just greater Minnesota, West Side Minnesota in general, because at the end of the day, we really want to build a state that's focused on all of us healing collectively, all of us healing in a good way together. And so those are the updates that I have for you for this week. Sorry I couldn't be with you. Sorry it's a recording. Just got a lot of things going on with the first day of school. Hope all of you are doing well. As always, drink water. Hydration really is the key. Water is life. Love each other, check in on each other, and tell somebody that you're proud of them today. Compliments can go a long ways. I walked past a gal this morning who she just kind of looked a little bit down. She had this really cute dress on, and I paused just for a minute to say, that is a really great dress that you have on, and not in any way other than just to lift each other up. And you could instantly see the difference in her whole demeanor. And I think that matters. I think in a world that we feel hate and we can criticize each other, I think let's be intentional about leading with love, sharing good, and giving some compliments. Back to you, Robert.
Wow. Thank you, State Representative Heather Keeler. As always, we really appreciate you. Up next, our friend Nancy Bolio. We haven't talked to in a while. It'd be great to catch up. This is Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACC. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nacc.org.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Annie, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hey, we have our friend Nancy Bolio, who we have not talked to in a long time, and we want to get a quick catch-up of what she's doing and how she's been. Nancy, you're on mute. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio. Great to see you. Nancy,
Bonjour. I think you can.
Maybe Nancy,
Robert.
if you can hear, maybe turn off your screen because it's dragging down the. Just do it without your video. I think maybe we can definitely get it going here. Are you there, Nance?
I am.
Hey, I can hear
I
you.
am.
Hey, how's it? How are you doing? Good to see you and hear from you.
I am doing good. I hope I'm looking good, even though I'm not on camera. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I hope you can hear me fine.
Yes, Ken, and I'm going to look for a picture of you here somewhere. But go ahead, Nancy. Give us an update on what you've been doing.
Well, I'm not getting any younger, Robert. I'm still good looking, I think. But yeah, I'm just, reflecting on some of the things I've learned in the past in our movement space and what it takes to create a safe space in this world we call movement space. And I think it's critical that we start to have these conversations on, creating those kind of spaces where people feel safe, they feel heard, they feel a sense of belonging, and that we all feel treated equally and that we hold that space collectively. And again, that's all about who we are as Anishinaabe and about those 7 teachings and what those mean to us. So we could sit here, kind of like a land acknowledgement, they could be words in the wind, or are we going to live those teachings? And I think, having those kind of conversations about what it takes to be, Anishinaabe walking with a good heart and showing up with good intentions is really critical to growing a movement and making sure that we're bringing in people and not, by the harm that could be inflicted upon if the harm goes unchecked, or we continue to be working in silos as orgs. And I don't think that's healthy for any of us. And I think we need to work on having hard conversations in order to create those healthy spaces. So again, it's about that individual and community responsibility. And those are our teachings too, Robert, not just the 7 teachings. So to say if Nancy Bolio, if I were out there creating harm, hurting people, and I would expect the community to call me out as an individual and say, hey, we need to talk. So they put me in this middle of the circle, and they would address the behaviors, not attack Nancy Bolio, but talk about the harm I've created and how it's impacted our space as a community. And then they would tell me that I'd need to step out for a while, reflect on what we talked about, and would hope that I would find some type of healing through all that and be a better person and hopefully learn from that conversation. And if I can, there is room in that space and that community for me. But if I'm not willing to take accountability, then I should just avoid that space so I don't harm other people. And it's that simple, Robert.
Yes, it is. It is, but it's also hard too. And there's things that I don't know. I really love what you're saying, and I agree 100%. But sometimes it's hard for people.
It is. And I think, as Anishinaabe people, that was part of our assimilation, not to talk about the hard things or talk about anything that was bothering us. And we were told to be quiet. And, and that rings true today. If it hurts someone's ears, I don't want to hear about it. But then again, we have to really peel back the layers and understand at the core, that is actually, going against our resilience as a people, and some of our strengths as a collective people, because I believe that, when we protect our inherent sovereignty individually, that's our power, but collectively, that's our greater power. And I think that's why it's important that, we start having conversations on what it looks like to build healthy relationships. And I have no intention, when we start these conversations, because we're putting thought into this right now. But it's
Mhm.
not to name people or throw people under the bus. It's talk about how can we create better, safer spaces for people where they want to come in and feel like there's spiritual growth, there's those connections, and there's that inner tribal strength is what I'm trying to get at. And I think if we get back to those teachings and live those teachings, that we can do better together. And it's that simple. And we can't just not forget about those teachings, because those are who we are. Those seven grandfather teachings gave us, the Anishinaabe people, ways to help us to live a good life and maintain healthy relationships with all living things. And these are universal values that provide a framework for ethical living and spiritual growth. And it's applicable to all people of all backgrounds, Robert, not just the Anishinaabe.
Yeah, I agree. Do
So,
you off the top of your head can give us the seven teachings for our listening audience?
yeah, we have love, and that's the gift from the eagle, and it represents true and pure love for all beings. So that's kind of that unconditional love. And try to find some compassion if people are, struggling with certain aspects in their life, that we don't judge them, and that we're there more to support, those challenges. Respect is a gift from the buffalo, and they embody deep respect for others. That includes the animals and the environment. So we have to remind ourselves that we're all connected, and that web of life, and that we have to have respect for everything, not just ourselves. Courage is a gift from the bear, and it's significant. It actually represents bravery and to stand up for what is right, Robert. And so that is one of our teachings. If you see someone doing something wrong, stand up for what's right, but always do it in a good way. Again, we're not here to belittle people or throw them under the bus, but just do some corrective measures and say this could be done in a better way, and give an example of that. Honesty is a gift from the Bigfoot, Sabe, and it emphasizes the of speaking and living truthfully. So again, be truthful along the way, and be who you are. Don't show up and be somebody that you're not, or don't be a pretend Indian and, and think you know everything, and hold space that isn't yours. So honesty is a huge part of who we are and how we show up. Wisdom is the gift from the beaver, and it represents knowledge gained through experience and the ability to use it wisely. So as grandmas, you guys listen. Just kidding. So yeah, humility is a gift from the wolf, and it encourages modesty and recognizing that we are a part of a larger whole. So I think in this Western world, along with assimilation, we have become individualistic, and that's not okay neither. We have to remind ourselves that we are community, we are family, and we do better together. So be out there in a good way and help other people. Do what you can, even if it's big or small, everything helps. And then we have truth, and that's the gift from the turtle. I am from
Mhm.
the Turtle Clan, and it reminds us to be grounded and honest in our thoughts, words, and actions. So again, honesty, be honest with who you are and how you show up, and be truthful every part of the day, Robert. Again, these teachings are really important to who we are and how we show up. And if you need help with those teachings, well, just start living them and you'll figure it out.
Wow. Thank you so much. And, I think that's first time in 9 years that we've talked about the seven teachings and what they were. We've talked about them, but we've never let our listening audience that might not know what they are. So that was beautiful. I appreciate it. Hey, I got a couple more minutes here, Nancy, and I'd love to get you back on next week and get back to a regular schedule with you. What have you been up to now? I know you've been working on a nonprofit, and we got 2
Yep.
minutes here to catch up.
That's Indaji Onji Anishinaabe We Young, and that translates to where the Anishinaabe go to be themselves, and peacefully we will continue to assert our inherent rights to hunt, fish, gather, and occupy unceded territory, building healthy relationships with our non-native allies. That includes the city council, the county commissioners, the sheriff's department, and remind them that when we're in ceded territory during some of those Anishinaabe things, that they are not a crime, that those are protected under treaty rights. So again, just kind of taking my time, creating that safe org where we all feel like we belong and that we're going to remain in peace but be strong as possible, of course, because that's who we are. I'm also been working on a community garden with our org, and we've been donating to the People's Church and to the Northwoods Women's Battered Shelter. And a lot of our relatives are housed in these places. And so I think it's important that we find times in our busy lives to find ways to donate and give back. So kind of just working on that, a little bit art, Robert, and trying to find a healthy way to keep my balance in life, and that I show up in the most respectful, honest way that I can be.
Wow. What refreshing to talk to you. It's been so long. I really appreciate you coming on, and thanks so much. And let's do this again.
Yes, and thanks for having me, Robert. And we got to bring in my wonderful daughter, Katie Northbird, soon too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that real soon, maybe even next week. Thank you so much. Nancy Bolio, our friend from the deep north. Hoa.
Yeah, hoa.
We'll see you. We'll be right back with Dr. Stately.
Hey, it's Tom. There's a war being waged on clean energy. A bill in Congress could eliminate the 30% federal tax credit for solar by the end of 2025. And once it's gone, it may never come back. Fossil fuel giants and their MAGA friends in Washington want to kill green energy. But you can fight back. Going solar with All Energy Solar isn't just smart, it's a form of resistance. You choose where your money goes, not to utility companies, not to fossil fuel billionaires, but toward clean, renewable power for your home. A system for All Energy Solar works in Minnesota year-round because it runs on sunlight, not heat. So even in the dead of winter, you're generating electricity. And All Energy Solar helps you save with every rebate and incentive available. This is the moment to act. Waiting means risking with this tax credit and giving the upper hand to MAGA Republicans. So get your free consultation today at allenergysolar.com and take back your power.
This September, Minnesota Recovery Connection invites you to join the 2025 Walk for Recovery. Come out Saturday, September 13th at 10 a.m. to the Minnesota State Capitol grounds as we celebrate recovery, raise awareness, and unite thousands in support of hope and healing. We're aiming to raise $75,000 for Recovery Month events, including the walk, Rally Caps for Recovery with the Minnesota Twins, and our annual gratitude breakfast as we close out Recovery Month. Whether you walk, cheer, or give, you make a difference. Register today at minnesotarecovery.org/walk and help make this the biggest walk for recovery ever. Walk for hope, walk for change, walk for recovery. That's minnesotarecovery.org/walk. We can't wait to see you there. Be sure to visit our booth and say you heard about the walk on Saturday, September the 13th at 10 a.m. on AM 950.
This is Alex Knorr from Buzzcut Mowing, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. I take the hard work off your plate with weekly mowing. I also offer leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I'll keep your lawn beautiful so you can enjoy your weekends with the people who matter most. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. It's the start of our favorite season in Minnesota, football season. With all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the big game, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all of those fumble moments in your home. And as always, you can score a guaranteed touchdown with great savings from Zero Res this month. If you weren't able to take advantage of Zero Res's Labor Day sale, great news, the Labor Day sale has been extended. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off an air duct cleaning. Having Zero Res over will be a big victory for your home. You'll always come away a winner, even if the guys in the purple or the maroon don't. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res. With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 45, then Thursday, cloudy with a high of 64. Treasure Island sets sail at Children's Theater Company September 9th. Join young Jim Hawkins and the infamous Long John Silver on an adventure packed with pirates, sword fights, live music, and heart-pounding action. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today at childrenstheater.org.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We've been trying to reach Dr. Stately, but it's flipping right over to voicemail. So, hey, I will blab through here in the next few minutes here and talk about some highlights here, some headlines here. We have a show here in the Twin Cities that comes on just before us, and his name's Matt McNeil, and Matt can talk to the audience like I'm trying to do right now with ease, and I've been looking up to him for many, many years, and so I just wanted to give Matt a quick shout out there, because right now I'm going to try and do this and talk without having a guest. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, which really hit me, was what happened in Washington, D.C. With these strong survivors here, the Epstein survivors, call on Trump and Congress to release their records. I watched some of the press conference, and it was pretty amazing what was going on. You know, there was a lot of tears. There was a group of women who say they were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein, and shared their stories on Capitol Hill as they called on lawmakers to support the release of records that the Department of Justice has so far withheld from Congress. You know, one of them said that this isn't a hoax. You know, it's not going to go away, and that was one of the central witnesses in Epstein's 2019 indictment. Her name was Mariana, and I just have to give so much credit for these women to do this, to go out there and to put who they are out there, and it's hard because there's so many people out there that don't want to believe it's happening. The president said today that it's a hoax, and so to get his little minions fired up, these people, these strong women, are putting their lives and their safety on display here for people to say bad things to them, to threaten their lives, and to do things that aren't right. And how it switched over from them being victims to being, persecutors is beyond me. We have people out there that are deranged and that want to attack these women and say it's false. And I just, again, cannot give enough credit to these women that are Epstein survivors that are going out there and talking about this. It's again, the president claimed that this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. And I saw his response. His response was insane. they were asked about that, and then he went off on how safe California is now because of him and what they're going to do in Chicago. And he does not want to talk about this, and this is not going to go away. And I just unbelievable. Survivor after survivor implored lawmakers to back bipartisans, push. And Republican Representative Thomas Mazie and Republican and Democrat Rep Rowe kind of to compel the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. And one of the things that they said too is interesting is that they're going to come up with their own files. They're going to put names out there, and it's just mind blowing. And they did mention, some of the survivors did mention that they could not believe, as most of us could not believe, what happened to Epstein's partner in crime, who they did say explicitly was not just a go-between, but she was a participant. And then she's in some kind of country club prison because they don't want her to say anything bad about the orange one. To me, it's just an amazing thing that's happening right now. And again, I want to give a big shout out to the survivors that stuck their neck out today and talked about this, and were really on top of it. Also wanted to mention to our friend Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is launching her Senate campaign last week, and she's from White Earth. She officially entered the race. What I think is really interesting about Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is that she has gotten $1.4 million already in her campaign, and everything's been under $200. So it's almost like a Bernie situation where, people are donating small amounts of money because they really feel like they support her, and it's a grassroots kind of thing happening. So a big shout out to the Lieutenant Governor running for senator, and I can't wait for that. Hey, my awesome wife here, Wendy, she may be helping me get out of this, and maybe we can just have a quick conversation. Hello, Wendy. How you doing?
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm talking to myself.
Oh my gosh, I hate when Robert has to talk to himself.
Thank you so much.
I'm just like really upset right now. I'm watching the news, and I'm watching the survivors for the Epstein files on the in the front lawn of the White House, and it's just getting me so upset. Like, when is the United States going to start believing women?
Well, Wendy, it's so interesting that you brought this up, because that's what I was talking about here in the big part, because I was amazing that the president's calling it a hoax, a Democratic hoax.
Yeah, of course he is.
So we know that
anything he says, just believe it. Just
believe the opposite.
It's the opposite. If it's really good, believe the opposite. It's really bad. Just believe the opposite. So there's 216 Democrats signing on to release these Epstein files, and 4 Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
One is Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I'm surprised and I'm happy.
Yeah.
They need 2 more Republicans to sign. So
to release it. Yeah.
Can I say balls on the radio?
No.
Okay. Well, I won't say balls.
Okay, good.
But they need to get some.
Test it.
2 more. Just 2 more Republicans need to get those things and sign it so that we could get these Epstein files. I'm like on the Washington Post right now, because I subscribe to the Washington Post. I can't even remember. I'm going to go back here. I think I read like there's 33,295 pages of documents. There's flight information, there's sign-in pages, there's all kinds of And yours truly is probably up on the top of the list.
Well, and we know that some of our friends, like Clinton,
absolutely.
and
I'm
Bill
sorry,
Gates, and
whoever
things like
it
that.
is,
Yeah.
whoever it is, I don't care who it is. I don't care if I like them or not. I will not like them any longer. This needs to be done.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you jumped in to the studio here and talked about that, because I was talking about that for the first 5 minutes here, and I
It's very
appreciate that.
upsetting.
It is. I saw
and
the
more will come out, and I'm glad the victims. And the victims said today they're all getting. There's over a dozen of them. I don't
Right.
know how many of them are there on the steps of the White House right now, but they are all getting together, and they are going to compile their own list with names, and we're going to find out, and Trump could say it's a hoax all he wants.
Right. Exactly.
This is the truth. We need the truth to come out. People need to be punished. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for a reason.
Because she lied is the reason. And one of the people that I was watching, Wendy, while you were watching the grandchildren, was saying that she was appalled that she's been, since the government has talked to her and interviewed her, and is that she's in a country club prison.
Yeah.
She can get out on work release.
Yeah. It's really something else. Well, I hope 2 more Republicans step up. They probably won't be, because they don't have those 2 things that you need. It starts with a B and ends with an S. They don't have them.
No.
They're afraid. Maybe they're on the list and they don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
Something's happening. Whatever's happening
It's just
needs
one
to
of
stop.
the total upside down things in this world, because originally this could have ended if Florida would have took care of this, and not slapped him on the hand in, what was it, 2006? I mean, this could have all been taken care of. Epstein could have been in prison.
Yeah.
But they slapped him on the hand.
Right. Women have been coming forward for years.
Yeah.
And they've been silenced. It's been swept under the rug. Who knows if they've been paid off, whatever. But this has been going on for a really long time. So.
Yeah. And do you have a preview of what you're going to talk about the last segment here? Now that
I'm going to talk on the last segment. Okay.
Yeah,
sure. Well, I'm going to do an animal segment.
Yeah.
I always have some good news and some bad news.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to talk about.
That's a great tease.
We're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about what's happening to our blue whales.
Oh,
our blue whales are the largest mammal in the whole world.
I think I got that answer right.
We're going to talk
Fun
about
Facts Friday.
A little town in Italy, which I've talked about before.
Are we moving to Italy? You're Italian,
Ooh,
so we can
I'm
move.
Italian. Yeah, Sicily.
Oh.
Yeah. So, we got a lot to talk about.
Well, hey, we are back in a few minutes here. We're with Wendy Pilot. It's been a jam-packed show. We couldn't get a hold of Dr. Stately, but Wendy dropped everything to jump on and save me, which you have. And I appreciate that, because I was talking about the same thing that you came in and talked about, but not as coherently.
Oh, well, I don't know how coherent I was, but it's just, I'm angry. I feel angry
Right on.
right now.
We all should be angry, especially about this is what happened today. It's a Democratic hoax.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, our sacred animal portion, our relatives with Wendy Pilot. And you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Hey.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACC. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nacc.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
Oh, no. Hey, I want to introduce and reintroduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many, many years. She talks about our sacred animals and our sacred, they're beings. They're with hooves, tails, and minds and feelings and everything. And we recognize that every day here on Native Roots Radio. And Wendy is also a founder of Native Roots Radio, one of the first shows that we did for many years. And now she's semi-retired, but thank you for coming on, Wendy.
Thanks, Robert. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. And I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it once more. So, we always say, please adopt. Do not shop. Yes. Because let this sink in. Only 1 out of every 10 dogs born and 1 out of every 12 cats born will ever find a forever home.
Jeez.
Yep. Only 1 out of every 10 dogs and 1 out of every 12 cats born will find a forever home. So please spay and neuter. Please spay and neuter your pets, and please adopt. Do not shop. I was going to found that little article again. In 2015, Collecchio, Italy, became the first community to legally require silent fireworks.
Wow.
Yeah, low noise pyrotechnic displays to reduce stress on veterans, pets, children, and wildlife.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just play music. I don't know. Anyway.
Exactly. Well, and it's not just the pets. We say this every time. We have people with, that were in the service. That
PTSD.
Yes.
I can't even imagine how listening to fireworks must feel to them. I don't know. I was reading this article about our blue whales. So they're falling quiet, and scientists fear it's a signals trouble for our oceans. Recent research has found that these giants, the largest animals on the planet, are calling far less than they used to. So they, make a lot of sounds, and they make calls to other whales. Studies in New Zealand's South Bright from 2016 to 2018 And the California Current 2015 to 2020 tracked the deep pulsing songs whales use to feed and attract mates. Both studies noticed sharp drops in vocal activity, especially during years of intense marine heat waves when krill, their main food source, became scarce. I can't talk today.
No, that was good.
Yeah. When krill numbers plunge, whales appeared to spend more time searching for food and less time singing to potential mates. Scientists say that this shows how warming oceans and shifting ecosystems are reshaping whale behavior. Warmer waters not only stress krill, but also cause them to scatter and encourage toxic algae blooms, making survival even harder for marine life. Yeah. Humpbacks seem to be able to adapt better, but blue whales, with their smaller populations and resilience on dense krill swarms, may be at particular risk. Researchers warn that the silence of the blue whales could be an early signal of larger ecological breakdowns unfolding in the oceans. So we need to keep an eye on that, you know? It's really something that we have to watch. I mean, just the sound and the calls of the blue whales can really be telling us something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we really need to pay attention. So, but, you know, the current administration, he thinks that global warming is a hoax as well. But, you know, whatever. I can't do it anymore.
I don't
Seriously.
have a boo button.
I know. We need a boo button. We need some kind of like button that says something. I don't know. Okay, so you know our dogs, they have that I'm going to read this. Did you know that the tiny vertical groove between a dog's nose and their upper lip, you know that little groove that they have? It's a little groove. It's a vertical groove between the dog's nose and upper lip actually has a purpose.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's called a vegetal groove or philtrum. And it's not there just by accident. Each time a dog licks its lips, a bit of saliva collects in that groove. Through a process called capillarization, the moisture travels up to the nose, keeping it damp.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, I never knew that, you know.
Let me see if this
But
works.
and why does that matter? Because a moist nose is much better at capturing and holding scents from the air. That's part of what makes a dog's sense of smell so incredibly powerful.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
isn't that cool?
can I just say this?
Yeah.
I'm really going to be sad, Wendy, that our butterflies are going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I did find a boo button.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Love it.
Yeah.
Trump is the president of the United States.
Oh, wait.
Get that button ready.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It is.
It's kind of long.
I know. I love this. I read this all the time. The greatest ethical test that we've ever going to face is the treatment of those who are at our mercy.
Yeah.
Now that's people, that's animals, that's insects, that's everything. Oh, we saw a dead squirrel today. I'm telling you, I just love these little animals. We have so many squirrels in our yard. And you know, we feed them, and some of them are like really familiar with us, so they don't even run away. They stay pretty close. But at the end of our alley, we were walking our grandchildren this morning. We got to the end, and there was a dead squirrel in the alley. You know, somebody hit it with the car. I mean, I know that these squirrels just like dart out, and they're like really fast, and you know, I mean, I've almost hit a couple in my lifetime as well, but exactly, if you could just try and be careful about that. But we walked there. It was like, Robert, we have to
You
get
put
it
flowers.
out.
You put flowers in his hands.
So we walked back to the house. We got a shovel. We walked back to the end of the alley. Robert collected the squirrel and put it kind of on the side of our neighbor's garage, and I picked a bunch of flowers and put it around its little body, said a little prayer.
I know you did. You did
Yeah.
awesome.
But,
Well,
I want to show our grandchildren
yeah.
compassion,
Be
and
careful. Don't
that-
hit our animals running across the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's, anytime I see an animal like in the road or a squirrel crossing in traffic, I'm just like, oh my God,
I know.
it really
it jumps.
gets to me. I just can't even watch an animal or an insect or anything get hurt.
I know. You release the flies from our house?
Yes, I catch them. I have little cups around the house and catch them and let them out. Yeah.
Hey, Wendy, thanks a lot for coming in and saving me. I was the king of ums again.
Oh, that's
was
okay.
by
I'm sure you
myself.
did a great job.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow. Another show tomorrow, and then another show Friday. So, hey, we'll be back tomorrow.
Woohoo.
Stay with us, and please be patient with everyone that you cross in your lifetime.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for